So we were just talking a little bit off camera. Do you watch Days of Our Lives?
I watch it I try and keep up. I've gotten lost a couple of times, but I got back.
Do you generally like to watch your work?
Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
So let's talk a little, just kind of sum up questions. How do you think the industry has changed since you first started in television?
The people that are running the business today it's an entirely different beast from the beast that was running it 60 years ago.
How so?
Well, or maybe not. You know, you got people who were, one of them was a glove salesman, one of them was it was a different kind of haberdasher. Lemley, I think, who eventually ran.
Oh, the studio heads and things?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Warner Brothers were exhibitors.
Mm-hmm.
The Skouras brothers were exhibitors too. Thing about movies, you walk onto a set, and when it's really being well run, it looks like everybody's having a good time. And I walk out on the set, I've just put $150 million into this company, and I watch what they're doing, and I say, I can do that. Bring 4 girls out, pick the pretty one, hire her. Bring the guys out, hire the good-looking one. It seems easy. Why isn't my show a hit? I got 5 people living in an apartment together in New York. They've got 5 people. That's a hit, and mine isn't. Why? They don't know why. There's a lack of, you see shows all the time and there's no two characters playing it opposite each other and they have no chemistry. No way to kill a story faster than that. Hiring a guy, well, I have a thing about actors that, although I don't, this is a family show.
Oh, please, share.
You know, actors come in 3 categories. Let's see how we can say this. There are studs, pricks, and peepees. And there have been more good scripts ruined by putting a prick in a stud's role, or sometimes putting a stud in a prick's role. So, and there's a big difference between the two. There are some, they say, well, he's a masculine, he's a studly guy. Well, he doesn't quite have, you know, he's not John Wayne, he's not Clark Gable. You know, Gable and John Wayne didn't have to work at being studly. All they had to do was walk out. It's like Gregory Peck once said to somebody, they were having dinner at a restaurant, they had reservations, and they went in and they said, your table's not ready. If you just have a seat at the bar, we'll call you. And his friend says, Greg, why don't you tell them who you are? He says, if you have to tell them, you're not. So, yeah, I mean, you take a movie like Little Shop of Horrors, you put a young John Wayne in that role and you've lost the whole movie. But they do that all the time in Hollywood. They would hire people. They make deals with people. So we got to fulfill the deal, fulfill the contract. So they hire somebody, they say, oh, you direct this picture. And he's got no business directing that picture. He doesn't know a clue. But it gets them rid of the financial obligation that they have. And there's too much of that going on. You know, we need more of the old seat of the pants producers who do a movie because they have a passion for it. You know, I've seen some fabulous scripts for things that never get, and you read it and you say it's terrific, but it'll never get done. And they're going to do something else about an orangutan and two bananas. So.
Have you done many films in your career?
No. Half a dozen, maybe.
And is that again because you think kind of soap operas were kind of seen in one way?
It has nothing to do with me. Somebody had offered me a movie, I'd have taken it, no matter what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But years ago, especially when I started in the business, your first job was very critical because that's what you were. I mean, if you were in a movie and it was a success, you were a movie person. You're in a TV show, you're a TV person. When Mac Carey first took Days of Our Lives, there were funeral dirges all over town. Poor Mac Carey, gee, what happened? He took a soap opera. And soap opera was perfect for Mac then. Didn't have to go running out of town, didn't have to do anything, stay at home, and they were paying him good money.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like a funeral for the rest of the industry. And like I said, that's changed somewhat now. But the people that left films and went to television, and James Gardner, you know, went to TV, couldn't get back to films again.
So have you enjoyed working in daytime throughout your career?
Daytime is nice in that you're playing scenes. You know, as a movie is a director's medium. Television is a producer's medium. Daytime is more of a combination. There are a lot of people over the years. I've seen a lot of, you know, we had several examples of Tony Award winning actors who came on the show and just couldn't cut it, couldn't act that fast. You know, instant acting is what I like to call it. Yeah, different.
Now you had mentioned scripts about, you know, 5 people in an apartment in New York, and your daughter Jennifer is very famously on a show about people in apartments in New York, Friends. Were you ever asked to be on Friends?
Yeah. I was scheduled to do a show, and I don't know, something, the schedule changed, and then it conflicted with my work on days, and I just didn't do it.
Because one of the characters famously was on, Joey had a role on Days of Our Lives.
I know, yes. Yeah.
Do you wish that had worked out, that you'd gotten to kind of be on Days on?
I don't know. I wasn't too broken up about losing that particular role the way they'd written it. But yeah, I would have liked to have done the show. Just to get the residuals.
Have you ever, oh, go ahead.
The best residual I ever got was for a Scrubs. They called me and they said, we'd like to use a clip from Days on Scrubs. I said, Mazel tov. So that I can't tell you, the residuals keep pouring in. Well, you know, residuals are famously, my wife got a residual the other day for 31 cents. I mean, the check cost more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And Scrubs, the residuals just keep coming, and they're you know, they're not astronomical, but it's $40, $42, $38. I mean, that they add up after a while.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Have you ever shared the screen with Jennifer?
Well, the show that she did on Search when she was an extra, I was in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't play to each other.
Would you like to?
Huh?
Would you like to act with her in a scene?
Sure, why not? Be fun.
Have you had any mentors in your career?
Mentors. No. Mac Carey gave me some good advice when I first started on the show. He said, "Congratulations, welcome to the show. Tomorrow you have to start working to get off."
And here you are 33 years
yeah,
later?
38 years later. Anyway.
Now, we at the Television Academy have been conducting these oral history interviews for over 20 years now. What do you think is the value of recording these behind-the-scenes stories of how television gets made?
Well, it gives you a fairly good idea about how things get done in Hollywood. And I don't know if you get all of it. If you can figure out a way to get all of it, it'd be a lot more interesting.
We got to get the secrets.
Yeah.
So you talked a little bit about advice that you'd offered to aspiring actors before. Is there anything that you would add to that? You kind of advised against it a little bit.
If I give them serious acting advice, you mean? The only acting advice I give to actors is listen. If you forget about everything else, just listen. And does amazing things for you.
What would you say is your proudest career achievement?
I don't know. Some play down the line somewhere. Maybe Royal Hunt of the Sun. Have you ever heard of Royal Hunt of the Sun?
What's that one?
It was a movie. It was a play. And they made it into a movie. And it's about Pizarro raping the gold of Peru. And there's a sequence in it where they climb up into the mountains to raid the gold. And when they did it on Broadway, how did it go? The whole stage lifted up, and these people were marching up into the mountains. And we did it at Theater East, which is a little, I don't know if you've ever heard of Theater East. I assume it's still around. Theater East, Theater West, Actor Studio. Anyway, we did it at Theater East. And we did that mountain sequence on a stage over a bowling alley. You know the bowling alley in Studio City?
Mm-hmm.
The one where the deli is.
Attached to the deli, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the stage was maybe 30 feet across and 15 feet deep. It was phenomenal, the way the director conceived it and did it. Yeah, we were all very proud of that. It's a great production. Yeah.
Have you had any career regrets?
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Oh, tell us about that. You auditioned?
Yeah?
For which part?
For Ted Baxter. He was originally, in the original script, he was described as the Marcello Mastroianni of Minneapolis. And I was told at the time that the reason I didn't get it is because they didn't want any possibility of a romance between the character and Mary.
Interesting.
And that with me, there would have been that possibility. Once I saw it, you know, you get pissed off about something like that, but once I saw it, and I mean, he was perfect for it. He was just, you can't say, I would have been better. No, I wouldn't have been better. He was terrific.
Did you read with Mary in the audition?
Oh, yeah. And this was in the day when, I mean, now you walk into the room and there's you and the camera and me. All right, go ahead and do it. In that day, I mean, the last audition, there must have been 50 people in the room.
So James Brooks and Alan Burns and
James Brooks, Burns, all of them. What was her name? Casting director for CBS.
Wynant?
Ethel Wynant, yeah. Yeah. But the auditions went, that was my third audition, I think, for the show. The second one was the same thing, not quite, maybe 40 people instead of 50. But, you know, but that's showbiz.
Mm-hmm. Dealing with rejection as
Yeah.
part of being an actor. Was that hard on you, or when you first started out in particular?
My problem was I was a mature adult when I was 18. And I didn't really start working until I was 40. Because for the Studley parts, I was too young. For the prickly parts, I was too prickly, I guess, or unprickly. Yeah. You have to, sometimes you just have to grow into things.
So which of the categories is Victor?
Which character?
Mm-hmm. Is Victor a stud?
Oh, yes, of course. Of course.
Of course. All right, our final question that we ask everybody is, how would you like to be remembered?
He was a good actor.
I will agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us today, John.
My pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.